All right, today we're going to journey back thousands of years right into the heart of Asia, to a land that's been a pivotal crossroads for civilizations, a battleground for empires, and, a cradle of some pretty extraordinary culture. We are diving into the epic story of Afghanistan. So, first things first, forget what you think you know from modern headlines. This quote, it really sets the stage for our whole explainer. We're looking at a history that's not defined by just a few decades of conflict, but by millennia of incredible richness and, well, resilience. And it all starts with geography. From the very beginning, Afghanistan's location was its destiny. It was placed right smack in the center of everything. Just try to imagine the ancient world's busiest superhighway for goods, for ideas, for religions, even for armies. That was the Silk Road. And Afghanistan? It wasn't just on the route, it was the central hub, the essential bridge that connected the great civilizations of the East and the West. This timeline really shows you the incredible layers of history we're talking about. We start, 5,000 years ago with these flourishing civilizations in places like Bactria. Then the mighty Persian Achaemenid Empire comes along, bringing in real administration and infrastructure. And then, of course, Alexander the Great marches in and turns the whole region into a key center of the Hellenistic world, a culture that blended Greek influences with local traditions. Every single one of these empires left its mark. So this foundation just builds and builds, leading to these periods of incredible prosperity and cultural achievement. And these weren't just passing empires. No, these were true golden ages that really helped shape the world. First up, the Kushan Empire. Honestly, this is one of the most fascinating periods in Afghan history, a time of immense power, incredible wealth, and most importantly, this amazing fusion of cultures. Now, what's so cool about this slide is that Gandhara art. Think about it. This was one of the first times in history that a huge Eastern religion, Buddhism, was being depicted using Western classical art forms. You literally have the traditions of Alexander's Greek successors blending with Buddhist philosophy. This mashup created a totally unique style that would go on to influence religious art for centuries, all while the Kushans were protecting those vital trade routes. Fast forward a few centuries, after the arrival of Islam, a new power rises, the Ghaznavids. They build this formidable empire, and their capital, Ghazni, becomes this glittering hub of learning and art, attracting some of the greatest minds and poets in all of Persian literature. But, with every great rise, there's the risk of a devastating fall. In 1221, the armies of Genghis Khan just swept through the region. Cities like Herat and Balkh were utterly destroyed. It was cataclysmic, a near total reset. But, and this is a theme you'll see again and again in Afghan history, out of the ashes, something remarkable happens. The city of Herat, once left in total ruins, is reborn under the Timurid dynasty, and it becomes so magnificent, so artistically vibrant, that it earns the nickname the Florence of the East. It's just this incredible story of resilience and rebirth. And you can see exactly why it earned that name. The Timurid Renaissance was a total explosion of culture. It produced masters like the poet Jami and the painter Behzad. This wasn't just rebuilding, this was reaching entirely new artistic heights. All right, let's jump forward in time to the 19th century. Afghanistan's strategic location, once again, puts it right at the center of global events. This time, though, it's a geopolitical chess match between two of the world's most powerful empires. So here's the setup. You've got the British Empire ruling neighboring India, and they see Afghanistan as this vital buffer zone to protect their crown jewel. At the exact same time, the Russian Empire is expanding south, hungry for greater influence. And poor Afghanistan was caught directly in the middle of these huge competing ambitions. This intense rivalry, which became known as the Great Game, wasn't just political maneuvering. No, it would lead directly to this many major bloody conflicts. 3 Anglo-Afghan wars. And after decades of struggle, after 3 brutal wars, the outcome was crystal clear. In 1919, following that Third Anglo-Afghan War, Afghanistan successfully threw off British influence and secured its full sovereignty as a truly independent nation. This hard-won independence, however, led right into an era of just unprecedented turmoil. The 20th and 21st centuries would bring a rapid and often violent succession of changes to the country. Just look at the pace of this timeline. It's dizzying. After centuries of dynastic rule, the country was thrown into chaos. Within a single lifetime, Afghans experienced the fall of their monarchy, a Soviet invasion, a devastating civil war, and the rise, fall, and then return of the Taliban, with a 20-year international presence squeezed in between. The instability has just been relentless. Which brings us to the present. And after walking through this long, dramatic history, it's so important to return to that core theme we started with, the incredible endurance of the Afghan people and their culture. Because despite the Mongol invasions, despite the Great Game, despite all the conflicts of the last century, this heritage is still there. The poetry, the art, the diverse traditions, the ancient sites, and most importantly, an unbreakable spirit of resilience that has allowed the people to rebuild time and time again. So, as we end this explainer, this is the real question to reflect on. This is a land that has been a center of civilization for 5,000 years. It has seen the world's greatest empires come and go. And through it all, its people and its culture have endured. The crucial question isn't just about what's happening right now, but what the next chapter in this truly remarkable millennia-long story is going to be.